my channel if this is your first time here. I'm Inamara Arruda. I'm a language coach and an English teacher in Brazil, and I am in Lisbon at the moment taking part of the Neuro-Language Coaching Conference 2019, having the opportunity to learn with the best, including Sharyn, what's her surname?
Sharyn Collins.
Sharyn Collins. I have been really inspired by her talk this morning, and I'd like to share with you some of what she's been teaching us. So Sharyn, yesterday you talked a lot about charisma and how that is important in conversation, and today you were talking about pronunciation, which really inspired me in many ways. Could you please tell us a little bit about global English and your thoughts about how English is getting global at the moment and keep evolving?
Okay, well, first of all, I'd like to talk about accent, because we all have accents. It doesn't matter where we come, but what I want to tell you is, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what accent you have when you're speaking English, as long as it's clear.
Perfect.
And as long as it's clear, you will be understood. And if your accent is clear, your listener feels comfortable. They're not stressed. And therefore, if you're negotiating or if you're just communicating, communication will be very good. So that was my first thing. The second thing is about global English or globish. Now,
Globish.
nobody really has a definition of what globish is.
Yes.
But basically, at some level, it's non-native talking to non-native,
Yes.
but in English, or native talking to non-native in English. And it's not a silly or stupid English or anything like that, but it's a much more simplified version. With non-native to non-native, it depends on their level of English. With native to non-native, the native has to think more about their English.
Yes.
It has to be clear. It has to be concise. Please don't use too many idioms. Please don't say it's raining cats and dogs.
They won't understand.
Because nobody understands. And if possible, avoid phrasal verbs. Now,
Phrasal verbs.
we can't always avoid them, but just think of the word get. If we
So many
say,
ways to use it, right?
oh my goodness, I'll get through, I'll get over it,
Get
I'll
by.
get by. How are you getting on?
Getting on.
Now, if you can just think, instead of saying how you're getting on, say, how are you?
Yes.
We'll get by, we will survive. We'll get through, the same thing, we will survive. We get along, we have a good relationship.
Perfect.
So by avoiding phrasal verbs, you can become much clearer. And also, you have to remember that English is a language which goes up and down.
Perfect.
It has tonality.
The rhythm, right?
It has rhythm. Your voice goes up and it comes down. And so, if it's clear, if it's relatively idiom-free, and it has tonality, you're going to have great communication.
Which is the aim, right? I mean, I always tell my students to don't put so much pressure on themselves, because sometimes they want the perfect grammar and the perfect preposition, and I basically don't teach English to teachers, right? I mean, I just want them to communicate, so I want them to understand and be understood. That's the main point here, and you can keep developing yourself and keep learning. English is evolving as well, right? We have talked this morning about how English is kind of getting integrated in different cultures. So I think the main goal is to communicate, understand and be understood, and be as clear as possible, and don't bother too much on your accent, because we're always gonna have it, right?
Too right, absolutely. If you came to me and said, Sharyn, I want to be perfect, I want to speak BBC English,
Yes.
I could do it, but it would take you months and a huge effort,
Yes.
and you would have to change all those bad habits in your brain to produce new habits. And yes, it can be done, but why not spend that time increasing your vocabulary, communicating with other people?
Yes.
And the thing is, by listening to good speakers and by practicing, your accent will improve naturally.
It will naturally.
Really will.
Yeah.
There's no need to kill yourself.
Exactly. And I think if you put that much pressure on yourself, there are big chances of you giving up in the middle of the way, which we don't want to happen.
Exactly. And there are also huge chances of you losing your self-confidence, losing your self-esteem,
Yes.
and blocking yourself from speaking because you're afraid your accent's not very good, or you're afraid people won't understand you. Just go for it.
Perfect. I have so many students that they come up with this issue, right? I'm very afraid of speaking, or I'm a bit shy because I think maybe I will speak it wrongly, and I don't know, it's just like some sort of block they have inside. So if you keep thinking about how wrongly you will speak, this will definitely block you. As long as you keep on your message, keep going on your idea, and keep developing yourself, especially your listening, because I always say speaking comes from listening. If you have good listening, you can develop your speaking skills as well.
That's absolutely true. And you know, there's nothing wrong with pushing yourself out of your comfort zone a little bit.
Yes.
And trying inside the classroom some public speaking. 2 minutes.
Yes.
Stand up in front. You may not like it, but the second time it will be much easier. You'll do it much better, and slowly your confidence will grow.
Perfect.
And can I say one thing?
Yes, please.
Please do not start your sentence, "Oh, my accent is terrible. Please, excuse me if you don't
Sorry
understand
for my
me."
English.
Sorry for my
I hear it all
English.
the time.
Gosh, if I could speak all other languages, I would be delighted. So I'm so grateful that people speak mine.
Exactly, and I always tell my students, please never say that, because you can, if you keep saying sorry for my English and all those kind of sentences, you are showing how insecure you are. So don't start with that.
Don't start with that ever.
Ever.
And that's it.
Awesome. Sharyn, thank you so much for your time and for talking to my audience. I'm sure they're gonna love this conversation, and we also can keep going with this conversation on the comments below, right? Please write down your thoughts on pronunciation, on global English, or whatever you can add in this conversation. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do it now.
Do it, subscribe. She's great.
Thank you. And also, they had many opportunities to hit the like button so far, but if you haven't done it yet, please do it now. Give us a thumbs up, and I see you next video. Thank you, Sharyn.
And it's goodbye from me.
Bye bye.